I found my son half dead in a roadside ditch. His fingers were curled around wet soil, his breath thin, like it had to claw through his throat just to escape. An ambulance siren wailed behind us, but all I could hear were his words, rasped, broken, terrified. "Dad," he said, "your blood is disgusting." I froze. "Who?" He swallowed, eyes rolling back. "Her father. Your wife's. Dad." The world didn't tilt, it narrowed into a single, suffocating point. My new wife stood behind me, trembling, pretending to wipe tears she hadn't earned. I didn't look at her. If I did, I might have seen the truth too early, and I wasn't ready for that. Not yet. At the hospital, while machines hummed over my son's tiny body, I stepped into the corridor, dialed a number I hadn't called in years. My older brother answered instantly. "What happened?" he asked. For a moment I stared at my reflection in the darkened glass, my jaw locked, my eyes empty. "Do you remember what Dad taught us?" I said quietly. A long pause. "Which part?" I exhaled once, slow. "The part about patience." Silence. Then a single, steady breath on the other end. "So? It's time?" "Yes." I hung up before he replied. My wife approached, voice shaky. "Honey, I didn't know." I walked past her without a word. Something inside me had already shifted. Cold, precise, irreversible. Suspicion doesn't start with evidence. It starts with a single crack where light gets in. For me, it began months before the ditch. My wife's father always looked at me like something he'd scraped from his shoe. Forced politeness covering a deeper contempt. I ignored it for the sake of peace, for the sake of family. Then there were moments, small ones, that stuck in my mind like glass splinters. The way she flinched when I mentioned my biological family. The way her father whispered to her during dinners, both of them glancing at my son. The way she insisted my boy spend less time at home and more at fun activities her father arranged. I told myself I was imagining things. Paranoia, maybe. Everyone makes mistakes when they remarry. But then she slipped. She was half asleep one night, mumbling into her pillow. "He doesn't understand. Dad said people like him always ruin bloodlines." My chest tightened. I stared at her in the dim light. She slept peacefully, unaware that every word she'd spilled was a stone dropped into a deep, dark well inside me. Still, I didn't react. Not externally. That's the thing about betrayal. You don't confront it when it whispers. You wait until it screams. After the hospital incident, I played the one role I'd mastered, calm husband. Inside, my thoughts were razor wire. I began quietly collecting fragments. Her phone? Backed up. Her messages? Archived. Her father's calls to her? Tracked. I visited the ditch without telling her, my son's blood still staining the dirt. Found tire tracks, footprints too large for a child's. I photographed everything. I requested hospital security footage under the guise of concern. I asked nurses questions she never heard. I listened to her father's voice through call logs she didn't know I'd accessed. My wife grew clingier, touching my arm, asking how I felt, offering hollow reassurances. She sensed something breaking, but she had no idea where the fault line began or how deep it ran. Meanwhile, my brother sent me files, a full report on her father's past statements, his financial desperation, his extremist beliefs about blood purity. Statements he'd made in private circles, statements I'd never have known without digging. Piece by piece, the picture sharpened, and with every revelation, my heartbeat slowed instead of quickening. Clarity has a way of numbing you, like ice in the veins. My wife noticed my stillness. "What's wrong?" she whispered one night. I smiled. "Nothing." The lie rolled off my tongue calmly, like I'd rehearsed it. I guess I had, internally, for years. The final piece arrived 3 days later. A report, sent by my brother, detailing a payment her father made to a family associate hours before my son was found. The same vehicle description found near the ditch. The same man caught on grainy camera footage stalking the road. Everything clicked into place with chilling simplicity. I walked into the dining room where she sat pretending to read. I placed the folder in front of her. "What's this?" she asked, voice too soft. "Proof," I said. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. I watched her face closely, every twitch, every flicker. Shock, fear, collapse. This isn't what it looks like." I tilted my head slightly. "What does it look like?" She broke, tears streaming. "My father, he said your family, he thought your son—" "My son," I repeated quietly. Her breathing hitched. I remained still, composed, studying her like an observer, not a husband. When she finally whispered, "Please, don't leave me," I felt nothing. Nothing at all. Revenge doesn't always roar. Sometimes it simply stops giving. I didn't shout. I didn't strike. I didn't accuse. I showed her my phone screen instead. A photo she had forgotten existed. My villa in Switzerland. The one she thought I never owned. The one she once mocked me for not having. "I sent this to someone," I said. Her eyes widened. "Who?" I didn't answer. Her phone buzzed, once, twice, then in a frantic stream. 71 calls, all from the same person, her father. She stared at the screen as if it might explode. "What did you do?" she whispered. "I corrected an error," I said simply. "I let him see what you threw away for his approval." She looked destroyed. Perfect. I packed quietly. No theatrics, no explanations, no guilt. My son recovered. My brother handled the rest, legal, social, financial. Her father's reputation collapsed first, then her marriage, then her carefully curated image of superiority. Funny how fast a life unravels when you pull one thread. She begged me to stay, to forgive, to try. But the truth is simple. I had already left her the moment my son whispered from that ditch. As I closed the door behind me, I didn't look back. Why would I? I don't revisit graves.